Today, we're talking about one of the most fascinating and controversial figures in boxing history, Mitch "Blood" Green.
Weighing in at an even 212 pounds from the Bronx, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Mitch "Blood" Green.
Most people remember him as the heavyweight who fought Mike Tyson and later got into a real street fight with Mike Tyson in Harlem. But before boxing fame, Mitch Green was a feared gang leader in New York City and a member of one of the most influential street organizations of the 1970s, the Black Spades. His life story includes gangs, boxing glory, lawsuits, homelessness, and one of the wildest careers ever seen in heavyweight boxing.
At the street fight, the first fight I had with him, Don King beat me out the fight. He took my money. He got a gift, okay. At the street fight, he broke his hand on me. He had a catch up to his elbow. He ran. I got a letter saying he's supposed to fight me. Signed, soon to live by Clayton. Now he with Don King trying to weasel out the fight. Now I'm here with my civil suit for damages. Now I've got to force the Tutti Frutti to fight me.
Mitch Green was born on January 13th, 1957. Although he was born in Augusta, Georgia, he grew up in the Bronx, New York. Later, he moved to Jamaica, Queens. Growing up in New York during the 60s and 70s was tough. Crime was obviously everywhere. Gangs controlled the neighborhoods. And many young men became involved in street organizations. Green became involved with the Black Spades, one of New York's most powerful gangs. The Black Spades originated in the Bronx and grew into one of the largest street organizations in the city. The group would obviously later become famous because several members helped lay the foundation for hip-hop culture. Even hip-hop pioneer Africa Bambaataa, I don't know if I want to say RIP or not, was associated with the Black Spades before creating the Universal Zulu Nation. Now, according to multiple accounts, Mitch Green rose to become a leader with the Black Spades during his youth. Green's teenage years were extremely dangerous. He was shot twice before turning 18. One bullet passed through his wrist, another round grazed the side of his head. Somehow he survived both incidences. He later spoke about openly getting into fights, shootings, and turf wars that were common during that era. The streets earned him the nickname Blood, a name that followed him for the rest of his life. Now, despite the nickname, he was not known for being part of the Red Team out of Los Angeles. His nickname came from his street reputation years earlier. Ironically, the craziness in the streets helped push Green towards boxing. This dude was big, standing at 6'5", big old long, lanky arms, and natural athletic ability. Green quickly became one of New York's top amateur boxers. He ended up winning the New York Golden Gloves 4 times, and he built an amateur record of 64 wins and only 7 losses. Many experts believe that he had the talent to one day become a heavyweight champion. During the late 70s, Green was considered one of the best heavyweight prospects in America. And in 1980, he decided to turn professional. For several years, he looked like a future contender. He was undefeated through his first 16 professional fights, and he became known for his toughness, his confidence, and my favorite thing, his nonstop trash talk. I do like the boxers who used to talk trash, because that kind of made me want them to lose. I know that sounds weird. I always wanted Floyd Mayweather to lose. I just didn't like his shit talking. He's obviously one of the best ever, but it almost gave you a heel persona, like you're a bad guy. And I think a lot of people watched Floyd Mayweather fights hoping that he would lose. That's just my personal opinion. But back to Mitch Green. Mitch Green struggled with management issues, financial problems, and personal conflicts early on in his career. Many boxing insiders believed his lifestyle outside of the ring prevented him from reaching his full potential. But still, he remained one of the most recognizable heavyweights in boxing. But all that changed. Oh boy. All that changed in 1986. When a young heavyweight named Iron Mike Tyson was destroying fools and literally knocking almost everyone out. On May 20th, 1986, Mitch Green stepped into the Madison Square Garden to face Tyson.
And Mike Tyson, traditionally, no robe, no socks. He says it makes him feel like a warrior, makes him feel like a gladiator.
Well, no matter how much money he makes, he'll never squander it on his wardrobe.
Most experts expected Tyson to knock him out quickly. Instead, Green shocked the boxing world. If you're a boxing fan, if you've never seen this fight, I would highly suggest watching it. It's a good fight. Last long, Tyson was stalking him most of the fight and was pretty much tapping that ass most of the fight, but Mitch Green was sticking in there. Those long, lanky arms and that jerry curl that was probably waving jerry curl juice all over the ring. That ring had to be slippery as shit, right? After the match, probably referee was probably slipping on the jerry curl juice. But he definitely survived all 10 rounds, and he became only the second fighter at that time to go the distance with Tyson. Tyson won by unanimous decision, but Green earned respect for his toughness. Even though he lost, the fight made him famous. The Tyson rivalry, though, at that time was not over. See, before the fight, they were both going back and forth at each other. But Mitch Green was saying some really, really disrespectful stuff. Really disrespectful stuff.
I want me some Michelle Cicely Tyson. He's a homo. Oh, baby. Something real simulation. Dog, he ugly. Tyson ugly. He a homo. We will live to say national. Michelle Cicely Tyson is a homo.
And Tyson went in that ring with one goal: to take his head off. And that didn't end after the fight. 2 years later, in 1988, Mike Tyson and Mitch Green crossed paths outside Dapper Dan's clothing store in Harlem. Dapper Dan was a brand that dope dealers, rappers, and anyone with money in the hood wore back in the day. Dapper Dan. Accounts vary on what happened at this Dapper Dan clothing store in Harlem, but an argument broke out, and within moments, the two heavyweights were fighting in the street. Tyson punched Green badly, damaging his face. Tyson also broke his own hand during the altercation.
Just 2 months after the triumph of the Spinks fight and the break from his longtime manager and trainer, Tyson was arrested after breaking his hand in a street brawl with Mitch Green, a boxer he'd beaten 2 years earlier in the ring. The argument had begun inside a boutique in Harlem. Green, verbally, hit directly at Tyson's weak spot.
He's a young, dumb knucklehead that got to ask his wife for permission to do whatever he do. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Green later sued Tyson. Now is that not some shit? But a jury eventually awarded Green damages, although much of the money was reportedly consumed by legal expenses. The incident became one of the most famous fights in sports history that happened on the street. I mean, was there ever any other street fight between two boxers? I would love to know. I'm going to have to chat GPT that. But after the Tyson years, Green's boxing career just never reached the heights that many people expected. He continued fighting throughout the late 80s and 90s, but opportunities became harder to find. Financial problems, legal troubles, and personal struggles followed him. Many fans believe that Green had all the physical tools to become a champion, but lacked the discipline and support system needed to stay at the top. It's really hard when you're young and you have all this money. But in the years after boxing, Green became somewhat of a New York legend. Stories about his street life, his boxing career, and his encounters with Mike Tyson made him a cult figure amongst boxing fans. And that's why I wanted to talk about him today here on my channel. I watch, know, love everything Mike Tyson. And that is one of the most infamous Mike Tyson stories in history. So much so that it was included in most life movies about Mike Tyson. But Mitch Blood Green, he was inducted into the New York State Boxing Hall of Fame. Good for him. That's a lot of great fighters come out of New York. A lot, including Mike Tyson. But his story is bigger than boxing. He represented a generation of young men who grew up in some of the toughest neighborhoods in New York during a real turbulent era. He went from being a gang leader, a 4-time Golden Gloves champion, a boxing contender in the heavyweight division, and one of the few men who stood toe-to-toe with Mike Tyson both inside and outside the ring. Whether people remember him for his gang life, his boxing career, or the infamous Harlem street fight, one thing is for certain. Mitch Blood Green remains one of the most unforgettable characters in New York sports and street history.
Baby, ask me a question, I tell you no lie. Mike Tyson is a homo in disguise. Don't spend your money. He gonna fight. He fought Frank Bruno, Frank Stupo. That was an easy fight. Come on, now you fight Carl Troop win. Carl Fairy Tale win. Carl is gonna be another easy payday. You know, and I'm the only heavyweight right now never knocked out. Who left the fight? He broke his hand on me. He scared of me. He ducking me. I want sausage nose. Holyfield. This is Holyfield. I'm gonna make a meal out of Holyfield and farm it. You want me to go to jail because give me a homicide? Farm it. I fight you. Keep fighting sanitation workers, bartenders, security guards. If you fight me, I'm gonna kill you. I want you bad, baby.
Boxing is one of my favorite sports. No, I think it is my favorite sport. If I had to accumulate all the years that I've watched sports, boxing is definitely up there. Whenever I think about boxing, I think about my father, R.I.P. We would always have whatever the hottest boxing fight was at my dad's house. The whole family got together. I mean, this is something that probably in, unfortunately, 5 years, maybe non-existent. Just because, family ain't family anymore, if that makes sense. And I love them. I love each and every one of them, and I'm guilty as well. We just don't stay in touch as much as we used to, and a lot of that had to do with my father passing. And one of the big things that we used to do was watch boxing. Get together, watch Floyd Mayweather. One of my best memories is Floyd Mayweather versus Pacquiao. the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, even though the fight was trash. That will go down as that's a big memory. I'm just thinking about it right now, getting a little nostalgic about my family that got together and we watched the Pacquiao versus, and unfortunately, a lot of this is not going to happen because a lot of these people aren't around anymore. I mean, unfortunately, it's just as you get older, they're not around. But good times. And that even goes back to my earlier days when I used to watch boxing with my stepfather, because there was a time in my life where my pops wasn't around, my real pops. Him and I, we mended and everything was good. But from maybe age 5 to about 18, my pops wasn't in my life. My stepfather was, though, during my early years. And one thing that we used to watch was boxing. And there was nothing bigger in my household at certain times than a Julio Cesar Chavez fight. And to this day, he's one of my favorite boxers. Next to Mike Tyson, he's probably my favorite boxer. Yeah, he is my favorite. Next to Mike Tyson, Julio Cesar Chavez is my favorite boxer. Legend. If you know about boxing, you know about the legendary fighter from Mexico, Julio Cesar Chavez. We would watch Julio Cesar Chavez fights, and I vividly just remember it. You know, we had cable. I don't know. Maybe we did buy them. I can't remember, but I know we watched them. We watched them, and then obviously when I got a little bit older, the Mike Tyson fight. And when I say older, I mean like 10, 11, 12, up until maybe 14, 15, until Tyson got locked up. And then he came out, and it was just like kind of a shell of this. Say that respectfully, he was kind of a shell boxing-wise as what he was before he went to prison. A lot of people probably say prison broke him, as probably broke a lot of people throughout the years. But there was nothing better than getting together with your friends and watching a Mike Tyson fight. Man, the goddamn fight would be over in 48 seconds, but the build up and everything, and sometimes the pre-fights were good. We would just all get together, but we know that the odds of this fight going the distance were slim to motherfucking none. So enjoy your nachos and get the fuck out of here as soon as this is over. That was good time. Real good time. Tyson was someone who came in the game and changed the game. Watching his boxing, you didn't see many people like that with his movements. He was a little pit bull. And even to this day, Tyson scares the living shit out of me. I think it was Cat Williams who said Mike Tyson reminds me of a pit bull off a leash. You know, when you walking through the hood and you see a pit bull off a leash, and he's maybe, 100 feet away from you, like, damn, we got to keep an eye on that motherfucker and deliver this Uber if you drive Uber. Again, mailman has to. I feel bad for the mailman in Compton. Every time I go to Compton, I see 3, 4, 5 random dogs. See a pit bull mixed with a poodle. What's that called? A poodle? No, never mind. But yeah, man, boxing. So many great memories. The heavyweight division is not, in my opinion, hasn't been the same as it was when I was a kid. That was everything back in the day. The heavyweight division, get out of here. Buster Douglas, Lennox Lewis. Huh? Man, such a good time. And then as I got older, I started watching YouTube videos of old fights that I was too young to understand the importance. My dad would tell me about no más. No más. You're a boxing fan, you know no mas. Roberto Duran. When he told Sugar, he was like, man. Well, apparently he said no mas. There's contradicting stories on if he said no mas or not, but it's called the no mas fight. It was, I think, 1980, 1981, 1982. I was 4 then, so there's no way I would have known anything about that fight. But as I got older, that's one of my favorite fights to this day. And I'm just one of those people. I'll just turn on a random old-ass boxing match. I'll watch a motherfucking Jack Johnson fight from 1899 if it's on YouTube, damn it. But even those older boxers, man, Those older boxers back in the day, the 15 rounds, and all those Irish dudes who were doing fucking 25, 30 round fights, 4-hour fights. Man, the Irish, man, they've always been big contenders in the boxing world. They came here with a mission. A mission. I think that's why Black, Latino, and Irish people are so good at fighting, is because when you grow up in certain neighborhoods and certain areas, you got to fight. And the Irish, they were at one time seen as just as bad as us and the Mexicans. You damn Irish. I mean, there was I don't want to say anything, and some YouTube trigger gets something. So yes, got to be careful with what you say on YouTube, basically. But the Irish, man, they were fighters, always have been. Great Irish boxers. Great Irish boxers. I'm curious, who are your favorite boxers? Comment down below. Thank you for tuning in to Dusty Vision TV. Please hit that like button if you have not already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, you just might appreciate this bonus clip I'm about to play for you right now. To do the rap and everything when I was a kid. We're the gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
That's engraved in our minds.
Oh my God!
We did the Pride Parade a few months ago in West Hollywood.
Okay.
And we must have sang the rap a million times.
Pineapple head, yeah, that's me. The fans know it, it's no mystery. I'm bad, I'm cool, yes, I'm rough. You better beware, I know my stuff. Yeah.
There were 1,000 girls, and they basically told us we could come and audition, and it was basically an open call.
No one's gonna take it away from me. Not even that flag-waving Americana, because I'm gonna hit her so hard they're gonna feel it in all 50 states. I'm gonna give her the Hawaiian crush.
Yes, 1,000 of us, and basically they didn't tell us what it was for. They said it's for a TV pilot, and if you're athletic, it would be a plus, but you didn't need any experience. I mean, they were looking for all girls, all shapes and sizes, ethnicity, and everything. I had no wrestling experience. I didn't know what it was going for, other than I was a dancer and a model and an actress, and I was in the right place at the right time. My agent sent me on the call and got there, and 1,000 girls. And so basically
1,000 girls.
1,000
Wow.
girls. So if you've seen the Netflix show,
Yes,
Glow,
I have watched a little bit of it.
so they're a smaller version. So when you see them around the ring on the bleachers, there's maybe about 25 girls. That was their smaller version of our 1,000 girls. Wow. So at that audition, they were looking for 12 girls. They had 12 characters already picked. And out of the 1,000, they picked 2 of us. So Hollywood and myself were the 2 that came out of that audition. Wow. So then from there, they had all these other, auditions and interviews, and came up with the 12 of us that were trained by Mondo Guerrero.
Yes, the great Mondo Guerrero.
Great Mondo Guerrero from the
Guerrero family.
Guerrero dynasty. Yes.
At 135 pounds from Honolulu, Hawaii, the Glow Champion, the Royal Hawaiian.
I actually grew up and I was born and raised in Hollywood, and I lived in Chavez Ravine, and then we migrated east. I lived in El Sereno and then East LA and Alhambra. I was Miss Alhambra. I was also Miss LA Chinatown Friendship, and that was 1981, 1982, and then in 1985 I got Glow.
Nice.
They call me Fatty, they call me Pineapple Head. I'm gonna show it to them.
Royal Hawaiian coming in, and she's showing us what she's made of.
It's like, okay, they said, we'd like to see you be the Royal Hawaiian, so tell us something about yourself, And I'm famous for the pineapple, right? So I take the pineapple everywhere, and so my gimmick was crushing pineapples. So that's what I do. So the emoji is my pineapple. So
love it.
I have tons of wonderful gifts that I get from fans all over the world, and anything that has to do with the pineapple or a flower. Those are my 2, signature items. Yep. And I get lots of wonderful gifts, and things, and so as you can see, I got all kinds of pineapples and flowers and
Love it.
anything from Hawaii. So
I'm buying something before right now. As soon as we're done with this, I got to get something for the love.
It kind of fell in my lap, and I really just, it was like second nature.
I'm the Royal Hawaiian and I love to eat. They call me Fatso until we meet. The name I'm known as is Pineapple Head, but let them not now, because later they'll be dead.
So sometimes we're at conventions and we'll see 3 generations.
That's crazy.
You know? And or we'll get the ones that they'll see the glow sign and they'll come up to the booth and then they look at us and they're like, "Who are you?" They're like, because they're looking for the girls on the Netflix show, right?
Oh, that's hilarious.
We're the OG girls.
Yeah.
And they're like, "The OG girls." And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "What do you mean?" And we're like, "Well, we did the original show back in the 80s." And they're like, "What show?"
Wow.
Like, they didn't even know there was a show. And
they just know the Netflix series.
They just know the Netflix, and they loved it, right?
Dang.
So then we tell them about our show, and they're like, "Oh my God!" And we show, we go on and we'll show them some of our matches that are on YouTube, and they're like, "What?"
Crazy.
And then there's another book that's coming out. It's called More Than a Wrestler by Ken.
Pen Ken.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's from Chicago, and he's done a book on the Glow Wrestlers. It's called More Than a Wrestler. Roxy Astor is one of.
I had her on my show.
Okay,
I had Roxy on my show years ago.
Roxy came up with the name.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, I had her on my show a long time ago.
That's coming out. I'm not sure exactly when, but we got some stuff coming out.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Can I ask you one question?
Yes,
I've always been, I've always wanted to know about this place and how it got your experience with the Riviera Hotel.
I bet my skirt!
I'll raise your skirt.
Can you tell me a little bit about the Riviera Hotel?
Yeah, the Riviera. So we went in December of 1985. We went to the Riviera to film the pilot. And the connection with the Riviera was Rickless was Matt Simber, our director. That was his friend. So Matt was the director. David McLean was the producer. So David McLean is also the producer for WOW, which is on today.
Oh, yeah.
So WOW is on
Women's
Saturdays
wrestling,
on KCAL 9 and 11. Well, Matt Simber was the director, and his connection to Rickless was they were friends from Hollywood. He's the husband of Pia Zadora. Do you remember Pia Zadora?
Of course.
So that's how we got the connection to the Riviera.
Okay.
So in my days of Glow, we lived in the Riviera. So the show was filmed there every Saturday. And then we lived in the hotel.
You must have some stories.
Yeah.
That in itself was probably...
We got drinks and the buffet. So we had to stay in there. And kayfabe, back then, we couldn't go around
with
the
bad
hotel.
The bad guy girls couldn't be with the good girls.
The good girls.
Yeah.
And it's funny because now today we do tell a lot more of the real stories. And so my roommate was Americana, who was my biggest rival.
She was the one. That's hilarious.
But Americana and I were both trainers for season 1. So after we did the pilot, we were then the trainers for the new girls. Along with, we had Debbie Dallas, who was a trainer. And then eventually I trained Nanuchka. Nanuchka ended up being one of the trainers. Debbie Debutante was a trainer.
Debbie Debutante.
There were several other girls after that ended up picking up. So fortunately for the original 12 of us, we were trained by Mondo. So that was
that's huge.
That's huge.
Wow.
And we just did a show with him last year. We did LA Comic-Con, and we did a panel with him last year. And so he's still around and doing well, but if we can con him into coming out with this, every now and then, it's always a treat.
I love it. I love it.
And then we get to see Chavo. Chavo is the nephew.
He is, Chavo Guerrero.
And so Chavo did the stunt coordinating for Netflix Glow, and he's also the stunt coordinator for The Young Rock, the new TV series.
Oh, okay.
The Rock, yeah. So we see Chavo here and there too. So he's very, very busy and stuff. But yeah, the Guerrero, and I just saw Vicky and Shaw Guerrero at where were we? LAX Fan Fest. A couple months ago. So it's always nice to see them,
Nostalgia's so cool that you guys could still do this, right?
Yeah, here we are, 37 years later, right? Who would have thought we'd be talking together like right now, right? It's like, I never thought that we'd be done with Glow, and but with the Netflix resurge, once they saw our documentary,
It rejuvenated
Netflix
something.
said, hey, we need to make a show about them, and they did, and then of course it just rebirth again, and here we are,
Love it.
So yeah, so it's been exciting, lots of fun, and I'll do it until I can't do it anymore.
There you go. You
Do the
look like
rap.
you got a lot. Okay, we're the gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
Yeah.
We're all champions.
In the ring. We come from the city. We come from where there ain't no pity.
Slam, bam, it's wrestling jam. Come on, ladies, give us a hand. It's a big bad battle in the ring. Gotta have fun and
Do
our
the
own
thing.
thing.
Yeah. Woo! Give it up.
We used to do individual raps, and I would do one that was something like this. I'm the Royal Hawaiian, and I love to hula. I got pretty flowers, but don't let that fool ya. I jump from the ropes and I turn you to mush. You better watch out, because I do that crunch.
Yeah. Woo!
Love it. And I'm going to second what the other gentleman said. You don't even look like you were barely born in 1985.
Oh, yes, thank you guys.
I mean, let alone in 2022.
so-
You look amazing. Whatever you're doing,
Thank
keep
you.
doing it.
Thank
Keep
you,
that
thank
smile
you.
going.
I
It's very
appreciate
infectious.
it, but yeah, I'm a grandma, and so I will turn the big 60 in April.
Wow.
So yeah, so 60, and so it's been a great run, and I'm excited that I still get to participate in the industry, and I do a lot of traveling, and we go to different wrestling shows, Comic-Cons, conventions, and like this. So I like to give back. So we do a lot of the little girls that I work with, Roxy, Sunny, Daisy, a lot of the girls. We do a lot of charity work. We do a lot of animal fundraisers and things like that. So we try and stay busy and contribute and give back to the community.
I love that.
Trying to help out the smaller promotions.
Yeah.
Indie
That's so
wrestling,
awesome.
it's always fun, and it's exciting to meet all the fans after all these years,
Yeah.
So, and they appreciate us coming out, so that's
You
what
sure
I do.
do.
I
Thank
do
you.
it because I see, the fans really enjoy it, and they like meeting us and hearing all the stories, and we like hearing all their stories.
Yeah.
So I'm in the process of doing an autobiography.
Oh,
and
tell us about that.
We also have a couple other projects that are kind of in the works, but I'm working with a classmate from high school who is an editor and a publisher, and so trying to get all that done and hopefully get that out as soon as I can. I don't have a time frame yet, but we're working on it now, and trying to also work on a second documentary as well. So we'll see.
How awesome is that?
So you guys can, keep in touch. I'm on Instagram, Royal Hawaiian 25, Facebook, April Hom, HOM 25. Oh no, I take it back. It's just my name, right? April Hom. I think, what is my Twitter? Twitter is Glow Royal Hawaiian or Glow _ Royal Hawaiian. I don't know, but you know what?
I'll
can
put it
find
in the
me
description.
somewhere.
I'll put all your links in the
You can look it up,
description.
but yeah, follow me, and then I post wherever we're going to be.
Now we're going to talk something that's real near and dear to my heart. As much as I loved hip hop when I was a kid, I loved wrestling. And my man Bear has a past, present, and a future in wrestling. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, before we jump into that, man, probably the biggest story, this past week or so are the allegations about Vince McMahon. I don't know how deep you've dove into it.
Mm-hmm.
I've dove into it a little bit myself. If it's true, whew, man, it's a pretty sucky situation. But a lot of explicit text messages, a lot of allegations of forced this and other things that I can't really say on YouTube without getting a strike or anything. So we're gonna tiptoe around this with the wordage that we use. But what are your thoughts on the whole Vince McMahon allegations right now?
I'm kind of like, what the hell? I don't know. I know another wrestler was supposed to come out in the Rumble the other night, but got pulled. I don't want to say his name because it's what you just said. I know, we do all know that Vince did totally step down away from all affairs Thursday or Friday. Yeah, that's a big wow, because there are other people implicated in that with him. So not former, but present day wrestlers too. Like I said, one person was supposed to come out in the Royal Rumble the other night, and he didn't because of this, because he's implicated as well. So,
and you're in the business, so and I know that you're tiptoeing around it also because you still know people who may know or things like that. So I appreciate you tiptoeing around it and all that. I definitely get that. People like, well, you should be dropping names. That's not the type of show we run here,
Right, right. Because it's in it's everything is accusations right now, and nothing is no one is proven guilty yet. So we can't go and say he did it. Most people might think he did because of his past, but we don't know. That's going to be up to the courts or whatever. But I just choose not to say the names. We say his because it's front. It's on the paper. It's on the internet. But the other ones, yeah.
Yeah, man.
We're hoping it's not true. But
yeah, they're starting to get a lot of folks, man. And if it's true, it's a rookie move on Vince's part, just for the fact that a lot of this was in text message form and things like that. And if you're a billionaire, you shouldn't be doing allegedly what they said you're doing, especially with a lot of evidence, via text. But we grew up in an era where it was still, I really, how can I say this? Because I hate the word fake. I hate when people say wrestling is fake because, you all, and the ones before you and the ones who are doing it now, they put their bodies through so much, but there was a time where I didn't know it was predetermined, maybe the elders did, 20 years older, but, I was fully into a dog in the 80s, 90s, up until the Attitude Era. I would say I stopped watching, religiously probably around the time when WWF bought WCW in the early 2000s. That's when I kind of backed off. But I've always respected the art. It's always been something that I've been into. But one of the first movies that really gave us a glimpse behind the scenes was, man, I'm having a brain fart right now. What's the movie from, I think it's 99, where Jake the Snake was in it. They followed Terry Funk, his, wow, I'm really having a brain fart, dog.
Right. I was thinking of The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke.
That's a great movie. It was the one that came out. It was the one that came out in like 99, and it exposed Jake Roberts' drug problem. It exposed how Terry Funk was, just an older wrestler. It exposed it was a damn. Hold on, dog. I gotta look this up now. This is gonna bother me. Hold on.
I'm trying to think.
I can't believe I'm having a brain fart, dog. I'm literally beyond the motherfucking mat.
Beyond the mat. Okay, yeah. That shook up a lot of wrestling fans. We all was like, "What? What? Oh my god! The crazy thing about that is, wow, watching that as a wrestling fan makes you go, damn. But to talk to a person that was there or seen it or used to wrestle these guys, it puts you on a whole different level of it. Case in point, the Iron Claw, the movie of Von Erich.
Yeah, I just watched that.
We all know the story of it, but we all went to see it with Rikishi. Rikishi's my trainer out of Knox Pro and Van Nuys. His cousin, IE, aka Count of California Black Pearl. And I was also trained by Gangrel, David Heath, who moved to Florida. Well, Black Pearl, Rikishi, and some of us from Knox Pro, we all went to the movies together to watch that. And afterwards, Kishi was telling us about the time when Afa and Sika took him and Samu down to Dallas to wrestle against the Von Erichs and, pull the crowd. And there's a scene in the movie. I remember going to Dallas and actually going to their arena to see them wrestle against the Freebirds.
Sportatorium, wow.
Michael P. Michael P.S. Hayes, Bam Bam Terry Gordy, and Buddy Roberts. I remember going to see them, and Iceman King Parsons was on that card too.
Damn.
He was black, brother.
Of course. Yep, of course. I love it. For anyone who doesn't know.
There's a shot in the movie where the people are going to the arena, and you look down the street, and in Dallas they have that tower with the ball on it with the light.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hotel or something. That actual shot looks like the exact place where the arena was, because I remember seeing that down the street, just like that shot was filmed. And it made my hair to stand up on end, and then to have Kishi tell us about the Von Erichs and everything, that some of the stuff that happened that was not even in the movie. Because, they had another brother named Chris.
Of course.
They didn't even put anything about Chris in the movie, and the reason why, because it would have been too long.
Yeah, and they felt that another death would have been too much for the viewer.
Too much to take. Right. Because Chris killed himself when he was only 16.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would have been a lot. People would have like, what the hell? This is just
I told my girl the
horror
story.
Movie.
I knew the story. I followed the Von Erichs for years, especially since the advent of the internet. And I knew the story.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my girl, prepare yourself, because she didn't know it like I did. I said, prepare yourself. This is a true story. It's crazy. And after every death, she's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I told her what they didn't tell you is that there was one more brother. No.
Right.
I told her that whole story too, man.
Yeah, but to hear Kishi talk about the things that took place, knowing firsthand. I mean, it's always good to know the story. Watch, right now where we have the Dark Side of the Ring and all that stuff, Beyond the Ropes and stuff like that. We have the documentaries. But when you sit with someone and actually hear something, I mean, I can remember standing next to Tonga Kid, PK, which is Kishi's brother, watching the match that he had in Madison Square Garden against, it was him and Tito Santana? Yeah, it was him, because it was supposed to be Jimmy Superfly Snuka and Tito Santana versus Cowboy Bob Orton and Roddy Piper.
Mm-hmm.
But I just found out this past weekend how the Tonga Kid got put into that match. Snuka couldn't do it. I just found out Saturday from my trainer what happened. But Snuka couldn't do the match, so they said, how about the Kid? And that's how TK came out in that match. But I stood right next to him in our class as we watched that match. And I kept looking at him, and I looked at TV, and he tapped me on the shoulder, watch this move. And I'm looking at it, and he just reliving the whole thing. And then to have Kishi tell us how here I am watching my younger brother. I'm back in the back behind the curtain watching my younger brother headline and sell out Madison Square Garden. And we're sitting in class like, damn,
That's so cool, man.
So yeah, the stories are always so much more profound and more animated when the person that was there is telling you about this. So that's my love of the whole thing.
Oh, taking me back with all these names, man. Tonga Kid, Haku. I mean, shit. British Bulldogs, Bret Hart. I remember my first favorite wrestler. It's very ironic. It was around the time Hogan and Iron Sheik were feuding. It was just after that, leading into WrestleMania 2. And I was a big Iron Sheik fan, dog. I was like, I want Iron Sheik to whoop his ass. So when I got the toys, like you remember those wrestling rubber toys you would get? Iron Sheik.
Oh yeah.
In my house, Iron Sheik always won, dog. There was none of this Hulk Hogan leg drop and all that bullshit. No, dude. Iron Sheik always won. And I'll tell you what caught me about Iron Sheik. It was his boots. He was the only one who had the boots that curved up. And I was like, that's just so fucking cool. And I just remember that was my dude, Iron Sheik. Man, who was your favorite? Who could you remember being your first favorite pro wrestler?
I don't know.
Or let's say the first time wrestling. Yeah, when's the first time it entered your life? Let's go back there.
I would have to say it's a toss-up between Michael P.S. Hayes and Junkyard Dog.
So are you from the South?
No, my mom's from the South, and I would go to her hometown.
Oh, so you would go down to Louis, I'm assuming.
So my Aunt Bernice, God rest her soul, she turned me on to wrestling at a young age. I remember I was 6 years old and went down to Louisiana, and you can make up all the noise you want, but when wrestling come on, you go outside. Yeah, it was Mid-South.
Yeah,
that was my first.
Damn, what? That's crazy hearing a West Coast cat say that Mid-South.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know about Mid-South. I only knew about Mid-South through the wrestling magazines, that you would see in the supermarkets and shit.
Right. But see, I'm watching Mid-South, so I knew Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Freebirds. I knew about Ric Flair. I knew about Jerry Lawler. I knew about Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Iceman King Parson. Because see, they all traveled the same little circuit. Mm-hmm. You had Memphis. Mm-hmm. You had Nashville, you had Alabama, parts of Florida, most of the northern part of Florida, of course Texas, and Georgia, and the only thing that was being showed over there every now and then you would catch something from Memphis, Mid-South, NWA, WCCW, and WCCW was what the Von Erichs had. They actually was the first ones to have something in syndication with ESPN. Mm-hmm. So down there, most everybody had cable back then anyway. So that's what you're watching Saturday evening. Mostly Friday nights and Saturday nights. So I'm watching stuff like that down there. When I come back here, I'm talking wrestling stuff. Nobody's doing nothing. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, WWF at the time gets a TV slot on Channel 11, KTTV. Channel 11 was the first.
Yep, I remember that.
Well, they wasn't the first because we had Corona Los Angeles 52, who gave us Lucha Libre about a Mexico AAA. See, I used to watch that.
Me too.
That's how much I love wrestling. So then all of a sudden WWF got their Saturday afternoon slot on Channel 11, and that was it. Like, okay, next thing you know, what, the Junkyard Dog is on this,
right? Who was he? You knew about, right? Hacksaw Jim Duggan, like you said earlier. Yeah. These people, Ted DiBiase. You're like, wait, what the fuck?
Exactly. So now it's like, and then again, like you said, the magazine. See, we would catch stuff like that only from the magazine.
Right.
But then I was down there, I was watching them. So by the time they came to WWF, it's like, oh wow, that's that dude in the magazine with the robes on and the blonde hair and goes woo. Yeah, that's Ric Flair. I seen him wrestle against when you saw that, they didn't even show that out here. When I was down south,
That's so dope.
So, yeah.
I love hearing that, Doug. I would assume you growing up in LA that your first exposure to wrestling would be like mine was, which was pretty much WWF. But that's sick knowing that you were down there in the Mid-South watching, because shit was real. Like they really took it, real. You know what I'm saying? Like they were stabbing the wrestlers. They were, throwing bowls of pee on them. Like, I mean, they're battery ass. Like wrestlers had to pack guns back then, dog. Kids don't know what it was like to wrestle back then. We were packing heat, homie.
Well, check this out. So we go to the Forum. This was in 86. We go to the Forum and we go to see a wrestling event, and I can't remember the organization, but I know the Freebirds was there. And anyway, one of the guys, we was in the 8th row away from the ring, and one of the guys that was with us was talking trash. Man, never forget this. Dr. Death, Steve Williams says, "Hey, motherfucker, you keep going, I'm going to come out here and beat your ass." Because my boy was yelling how it was fake and stuff like that. And the other people, it was about 9 or 10 of us all together. And it was my play brother's family. His mom, she told her boy it was with us, like, if you don't shut your mouth, you're gonna walk home because I don't want him coming over here beating on none of us. So you shut up and just watch the show.
Damn.
He didn't say nothing else because he had the respect for mom was telling him. But it was like, I think Dr. Death really meant what he said. Looking back on that, because usually you could tell when they kind of just like going along with you, telling you being a part of the show. But I don't think Dr. Death Steve Williams was playing that night.
Yeah, he definitely broke Cave. He said, "Motherfucker." He said,
he broke that crazy.
Yeah, he broke most definitely. Man, dog, tell us. Let's start to wrap it up, man. Tell us about what you have coming up. If you have any shout outs, if you have any anything you want to promote, the floor is yours.
Oh man. Oh well, we just did a show in Brawley, California, down by past the Salton Sea. Not to Pro just did a show Saturday night. It was off the chain, man. I'm out there as a manager, helping to put the show together. So the next Knox Pro show, and I definitely want you to come on out, is going to be on April 27th in Pomona. We actually have a show.
Perfect.
Wait. Oh, yeah. April 27th in Pomona at the Derby Room. Tickets are $20, front row, limited. I think it's $30. But that's every match that night is in a steel cage.
Mm.
So that's Knox Pro Show, KNOKXPRO. This is the school that Counter California Black Pearl and Rikishi run, which, by the way, is a third offshoot school of the Wild Samoan Training Center, started by Afin Sika. Afin Sika are the uncles to Rikishi and Reno. And you have Wild Samoan training in Florida and Philadelphia. And then here we got Knox Pro. So, yeah, that's what's coming up for wrestling. I'm also an actor. So there's a movie that I'm in, that's going to be coming out in April. I believe it's an independent movie, so I don't know where it's going to be at or anything. What else I got? I don't know. I might have something else coming up. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Shit, stay in touch. I'll make sure I promote it on my channel. And I definitely enjoy our conversations, man. I'm going to have you back on so we could talk a little bit more hip-hop and a little bit more wrestling in the future.
Almost there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll definitely get together soon, man. I dig your vibe and everything and look forward to, to hanging out someday again.
Okay.
Under better circumstances.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, I'm going to let you know off the top, I got 2 tickets for you and your wife for that show.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
April 27th?
Yeah. April 27th. You got that date open? You got 2 tickets.
I have nothing going on. April 27th, dog. Lock us in.